Good day, class. May I request Miss Sugala to lead the prayer? Alright, good day once again. How is everyone doing? Great, that's good to hear. Can you take your seats? Say present if your name is called, and I guess no one's absent today. Congratulations! Now class, what did we tackle last meeting? Anyone? Yes, Miss Dilaw? Alright, today we will have a new discussion. But before we proceed, let's have first a small activity. So I will be dividing the class into two groups. This will be the group 1 and this will be the group 2. So we will be playing a game called Fix Me, I'm Shuttered. So I will be giving you an envelope. So each group will be given an envelope with strips of papers inside. So what you are going to do is to arrange the jumbled words to form a sentence. Easy, right? Alright, leaders, come to the front and pick one envelope. You can start right away. This is the item assigned for the group 1. And the form sentence is, they wash the car every day. And as for the group 2, the form sentence is, the car is washed every day by the young man. Now class, what have you noticed upon looking at the sentences? Yes, Mr. Sudario? Alright, today we will going to discuss about active and passive voice. I bet some of you might be already familiar with this one and some might be not. So I want your full attentions and take note the essential information needed for you to be able to understand very well the lesson. Now let's start. Voice is the quality that shows whether the subject is the doer or the receiver of the action. By the way, what do you mean by doer? Anyone? Yes, Mr. Ungab. Very good. Doer means someone who does the action. Now, active voice. Active voice is used to indicate that the subject of the sentence is the doer of the action. It is formulated with a structure S plus V plus DO, where S is the subject, V is the verb, and DO is the direct object of the verb. For example, the boy kicked the ball. In this sentence, the boy here is the subject, kicked is the verb, and the ball is the direct object or the object of the verb. Am I clear? Alright, let's have another examples. The student wrote the winning essay. Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. The chef prepared a delicious meal. Now class, what are the subjects in the sentences? Yes, Miss Regis? Very good. The student, Alexander Graham Bell, and the chef are the subjects in the sentences. Now, what are the actions or the verbs used in the sentences? Yes, Miss Sugala? Alright, wrote, invented, and prepared are the verbs used in the sentences. Now, who can give me another example? Yes? Mr. Badeo? Very good. Now let's proceed to passive voice. Passive voice is used to indicate that the subject receives the action expressed in the verb. In active voice, we have the example, the boy kicked the ball. If we are going to change this one into passive voice, this becomes, the ball was kicked by the boy. As you can see here, the direct object of the active voice becomes the subject in the passive voice. Hence, it is formulated with a structure DO plus V plus S. Am I understood? Alright, we can recognize passive voice expressions because the verb phrase will always include a form of a be verb such as am, is, are, was, were, or been. However, the presence of a be verb does not necessarily mean that the sentence or the verb is in passive voice. Another way to recognize passive voice expressions is that they may include a by the phrase after the verb. Now let's go back to the example given. The ball was kicked by the boy. As you can see here, the sentence uses the by the phrase to indicate that the boy is the agent performing the action, which is kicked. Am I clear? Alright, let's have another examples. The winning essay was written by a student. The telephone was invented by Alexander Graham Bell. A delicious meal was prepared by the chef. In each sentence, we can observe that the subject is the receiver instead of being the doer of the action. And also, as you all notice, that the form of the verb when the subject is the receiver, the action was made up of was plus past particle. Hence, if the subject is acted upon, the verb is in passive voice. Am I clear? Alright, let's proceed to active and passive voice in different tenses. The first one is the present tense. In active, the verb is in the base form plus es or s. For example, the article discusses the effects of unemployment. In passive, the verb is in the form am or is or are plus ed or en. For example, the effects of unemployment are discussed in the article. The second one is the present perfect. In active, we have the verb is in the form has or have plus ed or en. For example, he has completed the work. In passive voice, the verb is in the form has or have plus been plus ed or en. For example, the work has been completed by him. The third one is the present tense. In active, the verb is in the base form plus ed or irregular form. For example, she decorated the walls. In passive, the verb is in the form was or were plus ed or en. For example, the walls were decorated by her. The fourth one is the present perfect. In active, the verb is in the form had plus ed or en or irregular form. For example, they had won the game. In passive, the verb is in the form had been plus ed or en or irregular form. For example, the game had been won by them. The fifth one is the future tense. In active, the verb is in the form will plus base form. For example, she will write a poem. In passive, the verb is in the form will plus be plus ed or en. For example, a poem will be written by her. Alright, I have here a table that consists of active and passive sentences so that you will be able to distinguish the difference between the two voices. In active, the mother carried the baby. In passive, the baby was carried by the mother. In active, father repaired the old chair. In passive, an old chair was repaired by father. In active, some explore the famous underground river. In passive, the famous underground river was explored by some. Is everything understood? Is everything clear? Alright. Okay, that's the end of our topic. Do you have any questions? Clarifications? Violent reactions? If there is none, then get one whole sheet of paper. We will have a 10-item quiz. So I will be flashing the cards using the Quizlet application. So I will be giving you 30 seconds to answer each item. Is that clear? Alright, let's start.
I was taught by my brother the principles of barbecuing. My father was given the title by the former head chief. The house was wrecked by the party and the cat was let loose by the guests. The house is a mess, the cat is lost, and the car has been stolen by Justin. Unfortunately, my plan was ruined by Gerald, the building superintendent. Loud noise frightened the puppy. The ball was thrown by Lisa, who had been hiding in the bushes. An interesting report was presented by Jin. The company made a huge profit. The tax proposals were rejected by voters.
Okay, pass your papers. To ensure that you have really understood the lesson very well, I'll be asking you questions. First one is, when can you say that the sentence is in active or passive voice? Yes, Miss Sugala. Alright, very good. A verb that has direct object is in the active voice. If the subject is acted upon, the verb or the sentence is in passive voice. The second one is, how will you change the voice from active to passive? Yes, Miss Dilao? Alright, in changing the sentence from active to passive voice, the direct object becomes the subject or the doer in the by the phrase of the sentence. Am I clear? Alright, get your mobile phones and open your Google Classroom. I already posted your quiz that consists of 3 parts. Test 1 is identification. Test 2 is rewrite sentence from active to passive voice or vice versa. And the last one is it's safe. So I will be giving you 30 minutes to do the task. Are the instructions clear? Alright, you can start now. Are you all done? Alright, as for your assignment, you are going to write a step-by-step procedure in making your favorite dish. Make sure to use active and passive voice in constructing your sentences, okay? Alright, I guess that's all for today. Goodbye everyone. See you next meeting.